If you always know when someone's lying, it means you hear more than words. You sense what people try to hide beneath the surface, not just in what they say, but in how they say it. You feel the tension between their tone and their truth. You recognize the disconnect between their eyes and their intention. It's like your soul leans in before your ears do. You weren't born this way, you were shaped, forged by experiences that taught you to listen deeper, to stay alert, to survive through awareness. You learned early that not everyone says what they mean, that some smiles are painted on, that love can speak in two languages, one with words and one with silence, and so you became fluent in both. Now, you notice the moment someone's energy shifts, when the laugh comes a little too quickly, when the compliment sounds rehearsed, when their "I'm fine" feels hollow in your chest. You don't know how you know, you just do. It's not analysis, it's resonance. Your nervous system picks up frequencies, your body becomes a mirror for their dissonance. You feel the lie before they even finish the sentence. If you always know when someone's lying, it means your intuition is awake, not kind of, not sometimes, fully. You may not always understand why you feel what you feel, but your gut has a wisdom that speaks without noise. It doesn't wait for evidence, it doesn't argue, it just whispers, "This doesn't feel right." And most of the time, it's right. Because the body knows before the mind can explain. It knows when someone is smiling but shrinking, when their words say one thing but their vibration says another, and you, being who you are, you feel that shift like a change in the wind. You've probably doubted yourself before, questioned if you were just paranoid, overthinking, too sensitive. But sensitivity isn't a flaw. It's a compass, one that points to safety, one that pulls you away from deception and back into alignment. If you always know when someone's lying, it means your inner world is finely tuned, like a quiet instrument that picks up every discordant note. You don't just hear lies, you feel them echo through your entire being. And maybe it hurts. Maybe you wish you could unfeel sometimes, because seeing what's hidden means carrying what others can't face. But that's part of your gift. You hold space for truth even when it's uncomfortable, even when it hurts to know. You've probably been through relationships where your intuition kept screaming but you silenced it, just to stay, just to hope, just to believe one more time that this time was different. And each time, the lie came to light, just as you knew it would. So now you don't argue with your knowing, you honor it, even if it means walking away in silence, even if it means grieving someone who's still smiling at you, because you've learned truth doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers in the quiet spaces, in the pause before an answer, in the shift of the eyes, in the body that recoils just slightly when asked a direct question. You notice these things, not because you want to catch someone, but because you've been the one on the other end. You've lived through betrayal. You've felt the sting of false love. You've believed people when they said they cared, only to discover they cared for their comfort more than your truth. So now you see through the veil, not out of bitterness, but out of clarity, out of the sacred desire to live in truth, to surround yourself with people whose words match their energy. You don't chase drama, you crave alignment. You'd rather be alone in honesty than surrounded by people who lie with beautiful voices. If you always know when someone's lying, it means you've learned to read energy. You understand that what's unspoken often speaks loudest, that the heart communicates through sensation, through contraction or openness. and you follow that feeling like a thread leading you home. Mirroring plays a role too. When you're around someone, you unconsciously reflect their emotional state. You absorb their unspoken discomfort, their hidden shame, their fractured intentions. And that's why lies feel so heavy in your presence. They bounce off your awareness and fall flat. They can't breathe in your energy because your field demands authenticity. It's not that you're trying to expose anyone. You're not out to catch lies. You simply can't ignore what your spirit already knows. And the truth is, some people don't lie to manipulate. They lie to protect themselves, to hide from their own fears, to preserve a version of themselves they think is lovable. But you see through that too. You feel the fear behind their facade, the little child inside them trying to be accepted, and sometimes that makes it even harder, because your compassion wants to understand, to forgive, to heal them. But healing someone doesn't mean ignoring your intuition. It doesn't mean swallowing what feels off just to keep peace. You've done that before, and it cost you your peace. If you always know when someone's lying, it's because your subconscious has become a filter. You process subtle cues faster than your logic can speak. And while others are fooled by charisma, you feel for consistency. You listen for sincerity. You wait for energy to confirm the words, and when it doesn't, you feel it in your bones. Sometimes it shows up as a headache, a tightness in your chest, an unexplainable fatigue after a conversation. That's your body saying, "This isn't truth." You've probably learned to keep that to yourself, because when you call out the lie, people get defensive. They turn the story around. They accuse you of being cold when all you're doing is protecting your clarity. So you go quiet, you observe, you let the lie unravel itself, as it always does. And in that silence, you find strength, because knowing the truth and not needing to prove it, that's peace. If you always know when someone's lying, it also means you know when someone's being real. You feel it when someone's energy is clean, when they're not pretending, when their story and their soul align. And those people, they feel like home. They don't drain you, they don't confuse you, they ground you. Because when truth walks into the room, your body relaxes, your spirit exhales. There is no tension, no guessing, just presence. And that's what you deserve. That's what your gift leads you to. Not just the ability to spot lies, but the ability to find truth, to recognize it, to choose it. So the next time your gut speaks, don't silence it. Don't explain it away. Don't wait for proof that will only hurt more. Trust the knowing. It's your higher self. It's your ancestors. It's your past lives. It's the millions of moments that made you wise, long before you had words for your wisdom. You're not paranoid. You're not imagining things. You're not too much. You're aware. You're awake. You're in tune with something deeper than logic. And the world needs more of that. More people who can hear the quiet dishonesty in a beautiful sentence. More souls who won't settle for almost honest, who won't accept connection that's built on performance, because connection isn't real unless it's rooted in truth. And you know the difference. So never shrink from your knowing. Don't soften your truth to keep others comfortable. Don't abandon yourself just to keep someone else's illusion alive. If you always know when someone's lying, it means you've finally come home to your own voice. And in a world that teaches us to doubt ourselves, that is nothing short of a superpower. Protect it. Honor it. Live by it. You don't need everyone to understand. You only need to trust yourself. That's the real truth, and it's been with you all along.